Everyone, it's Roger here for NA from DisKingdom.com with Infinity and Beyond, episode number 83. And on this episode, we're going to be discussing Zootopia, E3, and also Disney Infinity Next. What's up, Abe? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Just finished watching the Oscars not that long ago. Interesting. That's all I can say. But it was fun. It's been a good week. How about yourself?
Yep, doing well, except for the fact I've just gone down with my wife's cold. So if I'm sounding a bit like I need some tunes, you know why. So the plan was today, basically the thing was, unless we had some news, we weren't going to do today's episode because we were waiting we're going to be doing a special show tomorrow, straight after the Disney Infinity Next. I'm going to be discussing all the news, but we had a little bit of news that we thought we might as well. We were going to do our normal time to do some DisKingdom podcast episodes, so we thought we'd do a little short one with the news this week. So I think we'll kick off first off with the Zootopia figures, which are out on the first in the all over the place, and you've got the press event that you're going to, or not so much a press event, the fan event tomorrow for the movie. Yeah. Right. So the figures are going to be out. I mean, a load of people already brought them. They're already out in France, etc. Literally can't wait to get. I think there's going to be really exciting figures to pick up for people.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to Nick. I mean, only because of that big giant popsicle. I just want to start just hitting people with a giant popsicle. And then Judy Hopps looks like she has a lot of speed and definitely high jumping abilities. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited for those figures. Oh, and the power disc too. Finally.
Yes. It's been odd. Because they've been pushing the figures a lot. They don't seem to push the power discs very much, do they?
I was gonna say, I feel like the power discs are similar to the Force Awakens feel, only because one of them sort of gives away a plot line or whatever, or something that happens, like a spoiler. And I think that's why they're keeping it hush hush until the very end, until it comes out on the on release. You know what I mean?
But I must admit, I wouldn't have noticed that there was a spoiler, but also the fact of, in all honesty, it's a Pixar or it's an animated movie. It's not really going to ruin anything for me personally because I can't even remember what it was. That's how much impact. It wasn't like, there's some spoilers in Star Wars which would have completely changed the whole movie.
Yeah, it's definitely apples and oranges there. So I get you.
Yeah, I don't really kind of class whatever the spoiler is in that same category because it's, well, whatever. But no, it's definitely interesting to see they've kind of got these two figures coming out. They have been pushing them. I always feel once that movie hits the theaters, that's when these figures and power discs will jump into the next zone. It's the same with Good Dinosaur. It's the same with Inside Out. Whenever Force Awakens, whenever a new movie comes out, the characters are a little bit unknown and people are a bit like, yeah, whatever. After they've seen the movie, they go straight to the store and buy them. They'll be hard, and I think that's exactly what the game is about, and I love the fact they're doing this. I'm still just disappointed that we don't have the Zootopia playset coming out this week, and I think that's to me the biggest miss.
You know what? I'm gonna side with you on that one. Only because we've been wanting that for the past, I don't know, since what, Frozen. Like so many missed opportunities with the Disney animated features that are not getting playsets, but not to mention recent reviews, because the premiere already happened for Zootopia. Somebody, I forget which major media outlet it was, but somebody went out and straight up said that this is the best animated movie Disney's made in over 20 years. Yeah. If that is legit, if that statement proves to be accurate, what a missed opportunity it was for a playset.
Yeah, and there was an article on Tech Insider showing off the figures and that they've been working on it for a year and they've been doing this. And you go, it's like the third year running a mistake of missing Walt Disney Animation Studios. So they've got time. They've been making the movie for years. You saw some concept art for this, 3 years ago at the D23?
In D23 2013. Yep.
I mean,
it's been a while.
It's not like they've not known it. They've been around for a while. It's not like a movie that they just make like now and it's out for Christmas. They've been making this for years. I think this is a missed opportunity for us not to get any figures. And I'm going to be honest, I'm finding Toy Box only characters to be a little bit underwhelming because you just can't use them very. I think for me, it's like I'm going to go into a toy box again. There's nothing, with the Force Awakens characters. I had that playset when I got the Marvel characters coming out in a couple of weeks. Got that playset to play something. And I think that's the problem with these ones.
I mean, I guess the thing with playsets is, especially that I've noticed in 3.0, is that there's a lot of replay value. And I mean, not only do you have the story to beat, but you have basically the 3 stars. You have challenges. You have all these little mini games in between, like like in the Force Awakens had one, or like Inside Out had a bunch of mini games. I mean, it's a lot of missed opportunities in the sense that we could be enjoying all these extra things with new content like Zootopia, or who knows if we'll get it with the next movies. But toy boxes are great, don't get me wrong, and I love all the toy box artists and everything they create, but it does get a little old because eventually we kind of start doing the same exact thing. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, and also 3 years later, we've been playing in these toy boxes for so long now that I do think that kind of, so much of it has been done before, and they can do the toy box challenges, and the Disney team can make stuff, but it's not the same, and it never has been the same, and it won't be the same, because you want that linear storyline, you want those challenges, you want those things. And it just, again, it might be that we start seeing a difference. We might start seeing that difference if they've been doing this DLC stuff, but I almost feel like this would have been the perfect opportunity. Maybe there's not enough characters. They don't feel. I mean, the amount of merchandise with the amount of figures that seem to be coming out, there's obviously a lot of demand. They believe there's going to be. I mean, the Zum Zum collection. I think there's like 25 different characters being made. There's that many stuff.
Yeah.
So, but whether or not they translate over to Disney Infinity, I don't know. It just, again, it's great to see them out. It's great to see the figures out this week with the movie. Unfortunately, the movie's not out in the UK till the 25th of March, so I've got like an extra 3 more weeks to wait for the movie yet. So it still feels a long way away. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Nick is Judy's mum.
Well, I was gonna say we got a few people. I think somebody's gonna be writing a review, so you just don't read it.
Yeah, I'm not really too worried on that one. I think. It's like The Good Dinosaur. The Good Dinosaur's out on Blu-ray in a couple of weeks over here. I still didn't get around to seeing it at the cinema. So, yeah. I know there's. It's just like, I don't know. It just feels again like a missed opportunity. Even if it's an expansion game of some kind would have been something. I just don't know. It just feels again like a missed opportunity because this is what we want. People want play sets. People want expansion games.
Well, if we're not going to get a 4.0 anytime soon, and I guess we'll segue into the E3 conversation in a second, but if we're not going to get, a new version of the game anytime soon, I expect to have longer playsets, not like 6 to 8 hour playsets. I'm expecting one to be, I don't know, 15 to 20 hour playsets. You know what I mean? Like if we're not going to get a big hearty game, then obviously, everybody's been saying we would love the inclusion of a Disney animated either classic or Disney animated new. I mean, and obviously I'm isolating Pixar from this because we've gotten nothing but Pixar as well. So, if we're not going to get that, I would definitely appreciate a longer playset as well. But, yeah.
Well, on one hand, it's like you say, 16 hours. Well, I would, 2 8-hour playsets. I'd rather have a Zootopia and a Jungle Book playset of 8 hours each, of both completely different themes by different teams and stuff, then have one Alice in Wonderland set. It's this kind of thing of I like the idea of having more themed content with different ideas and different storylines, and try to make games differently. They're trying to do stuff differently, especially with the expansion game stuff. Make them feel so different.
I guess because they all play pretty similarly across the board.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why I'm like maybe something longer as opposed to too many of the same thing. Because ultimately, we've been playing the same games now that we were playing in 1.0, except they've been a little bit cleaner, fine-tuned, better combat, better, I don't know, scorekeeping, whatever. But the point is, something like that.
Well, the only way to look at it is, I think back to 1.0. The Cars playset was completely different to everything else. It didn't feel like any of the other games because it was driving, it was racing, it was So that playset felt different. Toy Story in Space was not combat based at all. It was just go find little aliens and
Find stuff, shoot stuff.
The Lone Ranger was different. Pirates of the Caribbean was different. And then we had the Marvel playset of the Incredibles, which was essentially the same playset as we saw with the two Marvel playset ones.
Right.
I think we know with 2.0 there wasn't a lot of difference. That was too similar. And I think 3.0 has been better in the fact that Inside Out felt very, very different to the Star Wars playsets.
Right.
But here again, we've had 3 Star Wars playsets, we've had the Inside Out, and I'm thinking Marvel is going to feel very, very different to the Star Wars ones.
I agree, yeah.
And I also felt Twilight of the Republic felt very different to Rise of the Empire. They felt slightly different in terms of their game modes.
I guess, yeah.
But Force Awakens was just meh. But no, I would like a little bit more variety, but I don't know. And I think that leads us on to this. Like, the news came out this week about E3, where they put out a list on the website of all the different companies that are basically going to be at the event or working with E3. We had Electronic Arts. Now, even though Electronic Arts have said that they are they're not being at the event properly, they're doing their own event outside, they're just streaming it, they're still going to be at the event doing private meetings. Square Enix are going to be there, so I'm expecting to see a lot of Kingdom Hearts 2.8 and Kingdom Hearts 3 news. Warner Brothers are going to be there, so we're going to see, with 2 weeks before the release of Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, I'm expecting that to be heavily featured there as well. I don't know if we'll see a Marvel one, because I think they'll focus on Dimensions and Star Wars. And then finally, we've got other games we'll be doing bits and pieces. But no Disney Infinity, no Disney Interactive.
Yeah, that was really surprising. Definitely they are changing things up, especially with this whole next thing that they're going to. And it says what's coming up next in 3.0. That's interesting, but I guess it's nothing too big to the point where they need to show something at E3. So that's going to be. It's going to be odd for me going to an E3 without Disney Infinity after 3 years. So it's going to be. The Disney Infinity figures were the hot ticket items when we went to E3 anyways. Like, people would line up for hours. I think last time was 4 to 5 hours. This time, I don't know. So yeah, it's going to be interesting not to have them there. I do think, though, the conversation that both you and I had earlier, I do agree with you. I think they might have an off-site event, whether it be before, during, or after. They're going to have a little E3 event of their own, tiny. They have to have something, like a little media thing, because there's going to be a lot of media from around the world showing up to E3. They're going to have a little event for their stuff somewhere. So,
yeah, because I think that was definitely the thing. Just because they're not on the list at the minute doesn't mean they're not going. But are they going to have just private rooms to be talking with? Because the thing is with E3, and I think this is the thing that's kind of got lost over the years, is it's not a public event. It's not a Comic-Con. It's not a Star Wars celebration. This is a trade event. The primary reason for E3 was to get retailers and wholesalers and stuff into the video games to work out what to buy for Christmas, for the season, what's coming up, what do they need to stock, what's going to be attracting. Deals are being made at the building about gaming, and that was the prime focus for this event. Same thing with Toy Fair last week, or 2 weeks ago. His main aim is at trade. Obviously, then press are part of it to show off what's coming up, and the game company uses E3 as a good platform to launch stuff. There is, however, that point of so many game companies trying to launch so much stuff at once. Very easy to get lost in the shuffle, so they start having pre-events before it. But I think the big question is, like we keep saying, if there's no 4.0 this year, then I might not need to have that. Might not need to have that booth.
Yeah, no, it's true. What's the point of renting out, or not even renting out, spending a lot of money on a booth? Because every year it has been growing bigger and bigger, and they've been giving out more and more figures. They've been more generous, but what's the point of having such a big space or any space at all if you don't have a big new item to push other than maybe a few figures or a new playset coming? There's really no need for something that big. So yeah, I mean, I am very intrigued and I'm very interested to see where this is going, and I definitely am going to be doing some investigating and see what's going on, because I'm definitely going to be going for the first time. You know, Disney Infinity was always my main target. Now I'm going to be going all these other little spots, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think that kind of thing, because I still think I wouldn't surprise me if they have an outside booth, because they did it last year, and it's where the public is and they can show stuff off. But Disney on a whole, and they're doing this not just with gaming, they're doing it with lots of things. They have got other companies making products for them. They license out their properties for other games to do it. So my first reaction was, oh no, Disney Infinity aren't there? And this was the thing. I'm thinking, well, hold on, Disney have still got 3 or 4 other video games being shown at the event. They've still got stuff to be. EA are rumored to be announcing this new Star Wars game they've been working on. So there's stuff coming. It's just Disney Interactive aren't there, and I think that's, for me. I think I'm still gonna, E3 is still gonna be a big event for Disney gaming. It's just, well, whatever's going to be announced in this Disney Next stuff tomorrow, this is where the game changes. The entire rule book has been thrown up, and the cost for Disney to put those booths on and be giving all that stuff away, if they haven't got that kind of product this year, it makes sense for them not to do it.
No, yeah, it's true. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out and see what's next tomorrow. So I guess it'll give us some type of idea.
Go ahead. I was going to say, this next event, it's, we've got Next coming coming tomorrow. We're going to get a better idea, I think, of what's going on. I think most of us, and we've been saying it for months now, what we feel like the direction of it's been going, and the announcement of Next and all this kind of the way the wording is being used and stuff, and this news about E3 keeps saying the same kind of thing of what's been going on. But yeah, having Disney Interactive not on that list of E3 events does throw up this entire thing again of the rule book is up. Nothing is what it was last year or the year before. Nothing is the same. Rules are going to be broken. And like I said, this Disney Infinity Next tomorrow could very much change everything, or it could literally be. I've also got this stunning feeling of we could watch that show tomorrow and they could have all these live Twitch stuff, and we'll be like, yeah, you didn't really answer any of the questions we were expecting.
Right. Yeah. And obviously stay tuned to listen to us right after the next presentation, because we're going to start a podcast immediately right after the show. And we'll be talking about that. But speaking of which, I know we kind of briefly talked about it before. I figured we'd go. I think there's just a general prediction that we all have, which is basically they're going to go over the stuff that already leaked, unfortunately, which are definitely Marvel Battlegrounds figures, Blue, and maybe, because it's a spring update, maybe we'll hear something about Alice. I don't know. And one thing, though, that has always left me on the edge is that there might be one figure that we don't know about that JB might talk about. And the only reason why I say that is because of one of the Toy Box TV episodes, and I brought it up, I think, the last podcast, was he said that the winners of the Toy Box Challenge, the ones that are going to be shown in the theme parks for the Marvel side, will get Battlegrounds and 5 unannounced figures, although he could have said it incorrectly and he probably meant also Captain America, but he is an announced figure. I don't know, but the point is, it's basically going to be everything we already know. Don't be surprised if that's all we get, because I think that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that zone of confirmation of all the leaked stuff, but also maybe there's that idea of going, this is Disney Infinity 3.0 isn't going anywhere this year or for the next 18 months or whatever. I would be very surprised if they don't acknowledge Alice in Wonderland, because if they don't acknowledge it, because I'm going to be brutally honest here, this stuff with Blue and Marvel this year, if they are only announcing figures, if they want to go down this line of announcing a figure officially 2 weeks before it hits the store. Not even 2 weeks before it hits the store, because Marvel have already hit the stores. They're already in stores.
Yeah, somebody bought one already.
Yeah, this is dangerous. This is a weird thing. And Vinylmation. Now, I'm going to bring this up with Vinylmation, because I've seen this problem happen with Vinylmation, and it was where I get a little bit worried. They stopped announcing new products in advance. Just literally just going, oh, by the way, on Friday this is out. And it's like, great. It's a $200 investment, and you've just announced it to me 3 days beforehand. Because in Disney Infinity, a playset and figures are a big $100 investment by the time you buy all the figures. If you do not tell people, people cannot budget. People cannot plan. If they don't know it's coming until like a week before, people have already spent the money. People have spent the paycheck this week. It is dangerous, and I feel bad for Disney if they do not announce stuff ahead. But put in the pre-orders. That people need months to get ready, and it's a dangerous precedent to start just dropping stuff on us unannounced. It might be exciting. Oh, there's a new figure coming out next week that we haven't told you about. Unless, of course, leaks are great ways of getting the community to know about stuff unofficially until they get the second cherry. I don't know. It's a very dangerous game, leaving everything so late.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously everybody's pointing the finger at Marvel as far as why this thing has been delayed for a long time. But like you said, Baloo makes no sense to hold back. Is it because they want to clump it together? Maybe. They haven't said a word about Boba Fett. I mean, you have all these people who have bought the game a long time ago. People who don't have PlayStation, they're saying like, well, when can I get Boba Fett? When can I get Boba Fett? There hasn't really been an official word saying he's coming out also on the 15th. Not to mention Black Suit Spider-Man, like, same thing with the whole Vita thing. How can I get that one? There really hasn't been much word. So hopefully this is just a temporary one-time thing. I'm going to put this whole thing on Marvel just to make it seem like Marvel was the diva, and hopefully they'll more hopefully this next thing, which is we're all talking about it being as their Nintendo Direct type of thing. Hopefully that they are communicating with us more frequently through this next channel. And they give us this information, because like you said, some people need to plan ahead to buy all this stuff, and some people might not even know that it's coming out, because a lot of people don't follow Disney Infinity and their websites and their their channels, and they probably don't even know Next is going on. So they're going to show up to the store and be like, oh, there's a new Black Panther figure. I didn't know this. Unless they're advertising on television, which they're not telling us. But I don't know. It's interesting.
It definitely feels like, and I'm going to be, if they decide to go down this route, well, we are going to tell you every 3 months. You can't leave everything to the last minute. And like I said, and I can keep going back to this, unless the leaks are a great way of getting that word out early to the hardcore fans, and then they can have a second burst on the press when they do out the official with the next stuff. It does see it. This stuff with the leaks and stuff. It does help them get multiple stories, because if everything just comes out on a press release at the beginning, nothing happens. But I do think this is dangerous for them to be leaving everything so late. It's I don't know. I just don't. I think it's a very bad idea to be leaving. Ant-Man was teased to us nearly 10 months ago, and it
was July of last year. It
just doesn't seem right. It's just not right. I can't understand this. And if they're holding stuff back to make this next event feel better and feel bigger, because we've got all this stuff to announce. And what's going to happen next time? If they don't say Alice in Wonderland, are they going to have Next on the 1st of June, and then on the 2nd of June you're going to have the Alice in Wonderland set? It's very dangerous.
It's like oh by the way, guys, tomorrow go to Toys R Us. Disney Infinity 4.0 will be on the shelves. What?
I was at that thing of, and we know that it's just like, by leaving everything so late, it's like leaks are going to happen. Like you say, Marvel stuff is already on shelves. It just, I don't know. It just seems madness. It just seems madness to be thinking If like Disney have got such a great job, they've got this great community, they've got this way of communicating. They communicate more than Lego and Skylanders combined, but yet they seem to keep making the same. Seem to be making newer and the same mistakes over and over again.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, but like we said, hopefully tomorrow, we'll maybe. You know what I'm really hoping? I'm really hoping they throw a curveball and they give us a nice little teaser of what's to come, something good. I mean, we still haven't heard about this new playset. Maybe this will, Battlegrounds, like it's a 4-person local, and obviously all the Marvel can play on it. Maybe this will be like a preview of what's to come, maybe on the Disney side. Maybe they'll give us something like that, or even one where everybody can play, or just Star Wars. Who knows? But the point is. Like you said in the very beginning of the year, or no, not the beginning of the year, when the Battlegrounds package leaked, your very words were throw the rule book out the door, because honestly, that's exactly what's going on here. Hopefully they'll read a few rules tomorrow.
Well, that's the thing. Last year at Game Informer, they put out that article saying Marvel playset coming later, Star Wars Force Awakens playset coming later. You're gonna have this, you're gonna have that, you're gonna have this. If they need to start kind of just if they say tomorrow, right, there are 5 more playsets to be coming. Just say that. Just say there are 5 more playsets. Don't give us the details. Just literally set out something. Set out that idea of going, there are, and give a number. Don't, I know this, or give sort of, we've got details to announce on 3 or 4 more. Really, more's coming to Disney Infinity is the most vaguest thing possible. I mean, it's always like, more is coming to Disney Infinity, but it's going to be 3.0 or whatever. They need to communicate better of what's going on, because people are going to start, there'll be suddenly people, I bet after Christmas, people are going, right, okay, well, we've had all the play sets, you've got all the figures, kids are bored with it, let's sell it, and we'll get another game now. If they don't know more stuff's coming, they're going to sell the game because they think they're done with it.
Yeah, that's true. And unfortunately, that's the route we're in games. I mean, because everything is being thrown out at us so quickly, and that's why we have bugs and everything. But because so much is being thrown at us quickly, we're so fast to turn around and get something else. So eventually, we're going to trade it in. I agree with you. It's hopefully it's a good change. That's all I'm saying. Hopefully everything will turn out to be in our benefit.
Yeah. The other thing I did notice, Gerald said was he hopes as well that there's more stuff coming to Toy Box in terms of development and stuff, and not just play sets, but also some tweaks to some new toys or something that's coming into the Toy Box to fix stuff, to make things better. Because while we're focused on play sets and figures, the Toy Box could do with a little bit. If they're not going down the upgrade route this year, adding in a few new toys here and there is a good way of kind of trying to refresh it and get it some new Sky Domes, some new toys, and that would be a great option.
I agree. I think we need a refresher. We need something new, something great that'll actually entice us a bit more. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Infinity, everything's great about it, but like something new that'll make me want it even more, And like you said,
I was going to say, unlock all those Sky Domes that are already in the game that we can't get access to. Unlock those interior toys so that everyone can use them inside of a normal toy box. Do some stuff. If you're not doing a 4.0 this year, you're still going to have to do a little bit of work on that toy box to make it feel fresh, and add some new functionalities. I understand this idea that they're gonna, and then maybe they want to hold off a year or two before they do a major upgrade on the toy box, but you can't keep it the same as it is for 2-3 years and just add a couple of little patches here and there.
Yeah, I agree. It needs a refresher. It needs a facelift. So,
But hopefully that'll be the next version. Will be the major facelift. But we'd love to know your thoughts. Like I said, we're gonna do a bonus episode this week after next, when we've kind of got some more information. Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook. Join our Infinity and Beyond Facebook group. If you're on YouTube as well, hit that subscribe button. If you're on iTunes or any other RSS versions, you can subscribe to the audio version there. Big thank you to Ethan over at sortapps.com and Magic Man Collectors again for being a patron this month. And big thank you to our other patrons as well. Really makes all the difference with you guys. And yeah, so this is pretty much it. Disney Infinity Next is coming up tomorrow.
Watch out.
So
Next.
Next.
Doesn't that sound...
grow up with the night.
I was going to say, doesn't that make the game sound so negative? Like, oh, I don't like this. Next!
See, yeah, but you're thinking like, it's like, yeah, Americans Got Talent and stuff. It's like, Urgh. See, for me, it's like 90s wrestling. Everything was, X, Generation X and all the rest of it.
That's true. X
so
Factor.
Different kind of generation. X Factor, yeah. Simon Cowell. Anyway, guys, we're going to leave you with that one there. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and we shall see you guys in the next episode. And comment below with your thoughts.
Laters, guys. See you next episode.
X, John, give it to you.
Next episode.